We have the lights up. I like to see the audience.
Oh, let's see them. They're looking...
Is it possible? Would you mind have it as it was before? I want to see the whites of their eyes.
Let's see if we can get those lights on this beautiful audience here. How you feeling, Liverpool? Happy Sunday Fun Day. There they are. Aren't they beautiful?
No. I'm very honest. I think they're interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, thank you for being here. How has Comic-Con Liverpool been treating you so far?
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's great fun. I like the people, but I like to have more time to talk to people as they come up and get the autographs. You know, it's not enough just to smile and wave. It's,
right.
You want to do more than that.
Yes. Well, before we begin, we have microphones. Who was here yesterday? Show of hands. Welcome back. Well, we have microphones here, number 1, 2, and if you are feeling so inclined, up at the top 3 and 4. We'll make this an interactive fan Q&A, if that's okay with you, Ms. Margolyes.
I don't have to take my clothes off?
No.
We're all relieved, right?
Yes, that was not part of your contract, don't worry. But before we get to the fans, and if you'd like to line up with your questions, please feel free. I'd like to congratulate you on the Little Book of Miriam. Can you tell us about your book?
It's about £17. I always start with the most important thing. It's very dirty, and it's alphabetical.
Okay.
So you don't have to read it all at once. And my suggestion is that you put it in the loo, because if you're constipated, it will help you pass the time, if you can't pass the shit. And if you're not constipated, I know you'll come back for more, because everybody visits the loo a lot. I do anyway. And it's about my thoughts, my life, my reactions. It's also a request not to vote for Nigel Farage, who is a cunt. And I mean that. And it tells my feelings about politics, life, the life I've had, the life I wish I'd had, pelvic floor exercises and everything in between. Thank you for saying so. I don't want that job.
They just shouted Miriam for Prime Minister. A round of applause if you agree. Well, it sounds like a very good read, but I have to also ask you about, you have such an illustrious career, but what led you to the Harry Potter universe as Professor Sprout, one of my favorite characters?
The same thing that leads me to everything, money.
That's fair.
I am very honest. I will tell you, I'm not in the least interested in Harry Potter. It happened for me about, 25 years ago? And it was fun, and I loved a lot of the people, and unfortunately, the ones I really loved are dead. So there's nothing I can do about that except to remember them affectionately, which I do. It was a privilege to be cast in something which at the time, of course, I had no idea was so extraordinary and would become precious to those who grew up with it. I did not grow up with it, so it isn't precious to me in the same way as it is to those who saw the movies and read the books when they were growing up. But I very much respect the writer, J.K. Rowling, although I don't agree with her on her stance regarding transgender people. We could all be transgender. You know, I think we just have to welcome decent people, whoever they are. And if they're cunts like Nigel Farage, we don't welcome them. And that's, there may be children here, tough shit, I'm sorry.
This is the best way to start a Sunday morning, am I right? I love that they put you on first, Miss Margolyes. Well, it is a beloved character, Professor Sprout. I have to wonder, is it a lot of Harry Potter merchandise and gifts that you receive at your table? What sort of gifts have you received here in Liverpool?
I've received a really lovely scarf that was crocheted for me by a young lady, a fan, and it's so beautiful. And I loved it so much. I'm not wearing it today because I'm frightened it might be stolen, because it's so lovely. But that kind of thing that people have made is wonderful. I've had several onions, and which is very nice. I like onions. They never give me any cheese with it, which would be better. I've had chocolates, and I've had a couple of really clever portraits done. Now, I have to tell you, I hate having my portrait. I don't want to look at myself, and you can understand it. So
Beautiful, that's right.
You fucking liar. I don't want any more portraits of myself or any more photographs of myself. But the letters that come with them that were handed to me, one from a sweet young girl called Ellie, and she was so proud of this picture, and it was awful. It just wasn't good, and I didn't want to keep it. And I said to her, "It's not good, Ellie. I want to tell you the truth because otherwise I'm not honouring you as an artist. And I must honour people who paint and draw because it's something I could never do. But if you say everything's wonderful and good and you don't really think it is, then you're not telling the truth. And I want to tell the truth. It's a rare commodity these days, unfortunately, and I think it's important to tell the truth. If I go backstage after a performance and I don't think that they've given a good performance, my friend or whoever it is, I will say, "Fabulous, talk tomorrow." Because I don't think it's kind to tell someone they're rubbish just after they've given a performance. There's no need to be unkind, but you have to help artists to be better. So when it's an artist, I always try to tell the truth. And please don't paint any more pictures of me. You can keep them for yourselves if you like them, but don't give them to me.
Well, imagine if you had to put all of them in your house. It's just Miriam on every wall. That's a lot.
Well, the only thing I've got of myself is when I was on the front cover of Vogue, which was a photograph I think it was last year or maybe the year before. And that I never expected to be on the front cover of Vogue. So I kept that.
It's a wonderful accomplishment. Wonderful.
Well, I don't know if it's an accomplishment. I mean, it didn't look like me at the end, you know. I was sort of tarted up.
Oh,
but it was fun, and I was very thrilled with the honour that he gave me.
That's wonderful. Well, before we get to the fan questions, don't be shy. We've got one question there, but we've got microphones here, number one, number two. A quick question for me before we get to our fans. A recent project of yours, A Friend of Dorothy, written and directed by Lee Knight. What can you tell us about the film?
I'm gay, and I will do anything to help gay people. Particularly, I want them to know that they don't have to just be in a gay world. I want them to be in the world, not just the gay world. And this is a film called A Friend of Dorothy, because that was the kind of code word, the code name for people like me who are gay in the 30s, 40s and 50s. I don't think they use it now, they've gone back to saying queer. But in those days, it was A Friend of Dorothy. And it's a very short film, it's only about 20 minutes. And it's about a young black boy who plays football and kicks his football into the garden of an old lady that I play. And it's what happens as a result of their meeting. It's a beautiful film. Lee Knight wrote it, sent it to me about 2 years ago, and I knew it was a terrific script, and I said, I don't know when I can do it, but I'll do it. And we did it this year. Stephen Fry is in it, and a brilliant young black actor, and I hope I get his name right, because it's a Nigerian name, and I'm not good at Nigerian. It's Alistair Nchukwu. I think that's right. Anyway, if it isn't, I'm a cunt. And, yeah, but I think that's right. But anyway, it's called A Friend of Dorothy, and it's won prizes all over the world, 4 in America, 3 in the UK, so, and we've got lots of people supporting it. With luck, it'll be nominated as one of the Oscar and BAFTA short films. So remember, A Friend of Dorothy, and it's an honour to have been in it, I can tell you.
Absolutely, and the preview, the trailer is up on her Instagram, so make sure you go check that out. And I want to say thank you for all that you've done for the LGBTQIA+ community. I think that deserves a round of applause to use your amazing platform today. Absolutely. We have a question all the way up at number 4. This was our first question. Thank you for your patience. Hi there.
Hi. I'm a great fan of yours, Miriam, and I love what you do on Graham Norton, and we've been to a couple of your shows. But I keep trying to tell my daughter-in-law the story about your house in Devon, when it was... There was something...
Kent.
Kent.
I said Kent, not cunt, just so you know.
Sorry. It's down south, love, that's all I need to know. About the... There was something...
Do you want me to tell that story?
Yes, please.
Okay. I own a lovely little house, a little cottage right on the edge of the cliff in St Margaret's Bay, which is between Deal and Dover. And I rent it. Get rid of that child, please. Can't stand children. I rent it. You can rent it too. www.countrycottagesonline.com. I'll just say it one more time. www.countrycottagesonline.com. And one set of people who rented it for a week was a group of drug smugglers. I didn't know that, because I don't know who the people are. My secretary fills it all in, and they do. And shortly after they'd left, I got a phone call from a policeman in the north of England who said, are you the owner of the gun emplacement? Shut up. And
Sorry, it's my grandson.
what have you brought him here for? Oh God. Anyway, I said, yes, I do own that property. He said, well, were you aware that a group of drug smugglers had dropped a load of cocaine on your flat roof? And we've been tracing them all over the world, and we've found them in Malaysia. We've extradited them, and last week they were sentenced to 13 years in prison. Were you aware of this? I said, no, I certainly was not. I mean, I knew there was a flat roof, but I didn't know there were any drugs on it. And he said, well, just be aware that that is something that might happen in future, and keep an eye out for it. So, obviously, I tried to be pretty careful about that, because I loathe drugs and everything to do with them. And I've been called Miriam Escobar after that, and the Daily Mail, which is a particularly revolting newspaper that I don't read, but I was quite grateful to it for the headline, which I thought was quite witty for a fascist paper. They said, in reporting this story, they said, the white sniffs of Dover. I thought that was quite clever. That's your story, ma'am.
Thank you, that was brilliant.
Thank you so
Miriam, you are an
much.
awesome lady, and you have been so... Oh, I can't think what the word is, but I live by WWMS, which is what would Miriam say?
Oh, bless you. I have got merchandise. You can buy that.
I'm bringing it down later.
Yeah, so stop by the table. Thank you so much. We'll go in the order of, thank you, of who was waiting. We have microphone number 2 here on the left. Hi.
Hi, Diva. So you're a very honest woman. Is there anything that always surprises people when you about yourself that you tell them?
The thing that surprises most people is how short I am. They see me as being slightly taller, and indeed I was at one time slightly taller, but when you get old, you shrink. And unfortunately, I didn't shrink that way, I shrank that way. So I am shorter than I intended to be. But there's no to do, like, so they've got to put up with it. So have I.
You're a great short queen.
Thanks for the question.
We'll go to microphone number 1 here on the right. Hi.
Hello. Back in 2006, like honesty, I was desperate for my wife's birthday present. And it was September the 7th for her birthday. And she loves Wicked. She loves Wizard of Oz. And we saw this new theatre play coming out called Wicked. So I bought a ticket to come and see Wicked, and where you played Madame Horrible. And I just wondered if there was any regret that you weren't selected for the movie. And in addition to that, if you've got any interesting stories from backstage within your musical career in the West End.
Thank you for the question. I loved Wicked. I don't like the musical, actually. I'm not interested in that kind of musical. But the cast were adorable, and they all stayed friends. All of us, we've stayed in touch, and we have reunions from time to time, and it's a source of happiness to me. My Glinda was Helen Dalrymple, who is Australian and has just written a book, and she went back to Australia. And what's the name of the character that's green? Elphaba. Elphaba was Idina Menzel, and we're still in touch, and she's become really a big star in America. My feelings about not being in the film are of total relief. I would have hated to be in that film. I haven't seen it, I'm not interested in it. I wish it well, and obviously the people who are starring in it are hugely gifted. But I think of the people I loved who were in the chorus, and I used to love being backstage when I was not playing Madame Horrible and watching the dancers get ready and go on stage. To me, stage is much more important than cinema, much more rewarding and exciting. And I think of those days as being part of the happiest days of my theatrical experience. They were gorgeous. And I had the enormous good fortune of being asked to go and perform on Broadway in Wicked, which I did. I took over from the lady who played it first, Carol Kane, and I loved it. They were just adorable. But the producer of Wicked, who's made millions and millions, is a particularly repellent gentleman called David Stone. May his testicles rot. That's the end of my reply.
Thank you so much. Love it. We'll go to microphone number 2 here on the left.
What was it like being the evil Meep in Doctor Who?
It was fun, and it was very unexpected and quite recent, because I'm not a Doctor Who aficionado. I never watched it when I was younger. I don't like fantasy, and I don't like things, science fiction and all that. But what I enjoyed, I was the voice of this monstrous character who started off being terribly sweet and ended up a raving nutcase, evil and horrible. And that arc of the character, that chance to change, was wonderful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It took, you know, a couple of hours, I suppose, but I'm very, very proud to have been part of it, and it's nice because I get to join in the conventions now. I have a right to appear, and I like that.
We like it too, don't we, Liverpool? You're welcome anytime. We'll go up to microphone number 4, all the way up at the top on the left. If you need to adjust the microphone, you can pull it down. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. You can go away now.
If you were going to Comic-Con as one of us, who would you dress up as?
What a sweet question. How old are you?
11.
Make your mind up, love. I'm 84, and I hope you live to be as old as I am. And I hope I'm as intelligent as you when I get to be as old as you are next time round. Who would I wouldn't, I'm sorry. I don't do public dressings up. I don't enjoy that. So I'm afraid I have no answer for you. But I have enjoyed looking at some of the nutcases who do dress up.
They're very entertaining. We'll go to microphone number 1 here on the right.
Hi, thanks for coming, Miriam. It's really good to see you. I guess I just wanted to first say, I think I speak for quite a few people when I say that you're quite a big inspiration for people, especially in this sort of age where you have people trying to be the sort of like parody caricature of the perfect version of themselves for their social medias, but you're so unapologetically yourself. And I guess I just wanted to ask, did that come naturally to you? Was that something that you made a conscious choice for? And have you dealt with a lot of pushback for that?
I don't think I could be other than I am. I don't deserve praise for it. I've always been like this, and sometimes it's gone well for me, and sometimes it hasn't. But I don't see any point in trying to be other than who I am. I should perhaps try to be better than I am. But now I think I've achieved perfection. And so I don't think I could improve. But I don't think I was ever any different. I was exactly like this when I was 10, when I was 5, when I was 30, when I was 50. I haven't changed. I've just got more famous and richer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a beautiful comment. We're going to go to microphone number 3 at the top right.
Oh, good, a black man. I haven't had one before.
Hi. Oh, sorry.
The top 3.
I was just wondering who was your favourite?
I'm so sorry.
I thought you said that. I thought you said
I
it
was
because you
looking
had a
at
black
number
top
1.
on. Number 3 at the top.
And I should be looking at number 3.
Up at the top right, all the
I'm
way.
so sorry. Could you start again?
No worries. I was just wondering who was your favourite character from Harry Potter, and who was your favourite memories with them? Like, what was your favourite memories with your favourite character?
Well, I didn't read any of the books, and I haven't seen any of the films. Because when I wasn't on the screen, I went to sleep. So, I don't know who the characters are. I know who the actors are, and I had a lot of friends in Harry Potter. It was one of the nicest kind of green rooms, only we didn't have green rooms, we had each other's trailers. And I became particularly friends with Maggie Smith, who was Professor McGonagall. And I remember working with her. She used to very generously invited me into her trailer, which was quite rightly 3 times the size of mine, because I was playing a very small part. And I always remember her. I remember her voice, and her kind of beady look. she was quite crisp, you know. I loved her. Scary, mind you. When I told her she was scary, she said, "Oh, do shut up." I hate that. But I think probably Maggie Smith and the character Snape, played by Alan, you know, Alan, what was his other name? Rickman. Alan Rickman. He was a wonderful man. Wonderful actor. So it's the actors that interested me, not the characters. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we must go to microphone number 1 here now.
Hey, kid!
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, yeah. I wrote it down. I'm not a native English speaker, so I wrote it down real quick. So this question might be a little bit too open, so if you don't, if you can't give
Just
an answer
ask
right
the
away.
question, darling. Don't worry.
All right.
I'll make my way through it.
So,
Yeah.
is there a story you love to tell, but you just haven't got the chance to? Is this a story you really love to tell?
A story I love to tell. In what capacity? As part of my career or
Maybe
in my
something that-
life?
Yeah, maybe something that happened, outside of the set or on set, but something you really enjoy telling, but you just haven't got the chance to. Maybe nobody asked the question.
Do you mean about Harry Potter specifically?
Yeah, let's go there. Let's talk about Harry Potter.
Let's not go there.
Okay, let's go about their life without outside of Harry Potter.
Okay, well, I suppose one of the most exciting things that happened in my whole life, really, was to get into university. I'm an intellectual snob. I care about books and culture and reading and learning and philosophy and things, Greek history and English history, Asian history. And I knew that my life would begin when I went to university. But I wasn't particularly clever. I didn't study much when I was at school. And I knew that it would be tricky to get in. And I took extra coaching because I needed more help with Latin. And my parents, I lived in Oxford, and my parents found me a tutor at Magdalen College, Oxford, one of the great old colleges. He was a gorgeous man. I loved him. And I went every week, twice a week, for lessons in Latin. I was about 17, about to take college entrance. And one day, he was a big man, wore leather elbows, you know, in that old-fashioned way. I'm talking about the 1950s. And he said to me one day, "Miriam, there's something I want to tell you." He puffed at his pipe. He had a pipe. They don't have pipes much now. They have those silly things called vapes. Can't bear them. If you're vaping, stop at once. And he said, I want to tell you something, Miriam." Well, you see, I was 17, and I thought he was going to tell me that he'd fallen in love with me. And he took the pipe out of his mouth and he said, "I want to be a woman." Now, that surprised me. First of all, because he was an extremely masculine man. Tall, bulky, in his 60s, dressed like a man, and I was speechless for a moment. And then he went on,
You see, Miriam, all my life, I felt I was in the wrong body. I wanted to be a man. I didn't want to be a man. I hated this pole that was stuck onto me. I wanted it cut off.
I was quite shocked.
And he said, come, I want to show you something.
And he lifted up his trouser leg.
He said, you see, I'm wearing stockings.
And he was.
He said,